एक बार सत्संग में पीछे सुनाया था.
We had once discussed in a previous satsang, Maharaji has interesting leelas, pastimes, and every leela he does is to increase the Lord's name, qualities, the Lord's beauty, and the Lord's surrender. He is God himself. There was once a king by the name of Prataparudra, from what I remember, and he was very glorious. At that time, Lord Ram was presiding as an emperor of the world. He had an assembly, and in his court, various saints were seated. They were Brahman realized saints. Prataparudra went to the assembly and met Narad Muni outside. Narad Muni asked him, "Are you going to take darshan of the Lord inside?" He offered his respects and said yes. And said, "There are a lot of Brahm Rishis there, the Brahman realized sages. Will you offer respects to them too?" He said, "Yes, that is etiquette." And then he said, "Will you offer respects to Vishwamitra too?" The king said, "Yes, of course, he's also a Brahm Rishi." Narji said, "No, he's not a Brahm Rishi. He was born in the Kaushik clan. He's a Kshatriya warrior." The king said, "But by his austerities, he has obtained the position of Brahm Rishi." Narji said, "Yes, but at the root, he's a Kshatriya." So the king said, "Well, what are you implying?" Narji said, "Well, just when you offer respects, don't put your head at his feet, just fold your hands." He said, "Okay, as you say." The king walked in to the Lord's court, offered respect to the Lord, and then to all the Brahmishis, put his head to their feet, but in front of Vishwamitra, just folded his hands. Vishwamitra did not take notice of it. But when the assembly was over, Naraji went to Vishwamitra and said, "Lord, did you notice something?" Vishwamitra said, "What?" He said, "Prataparudra bowed down to everybody but not you." Vishwamitra said, "Well, that's true. Now that you mention, I did notice that. Why do you think he did that?" Naraji said, "Well, he told me that at the root, you are a Kshatriya. You're not a true Brahm Rishi." Vishwamitra said, "How dare he?" He got angry. And just like that, Narad had lit the fire of dissent. Naraji said, "He should be punished, my lord. How can he behave like this with you, an elevated Brahm Rishi?" And Vishwamitra ji got up and said, "Ram, I have been insulted in your court." Lord Ram asked, "By who?" He said, "By Prataparudra." Now by this time, Prataparudra had already left. Ramji said, "What is your order?" Vishwamitra said, "By this evening, his head should be at my feet." Ram said, "I vow to you, by sunset his head will be placed at your feet. I am a Raghuvanshi from the Raghu clan. Please calm down." Now, Naraji went to Prataparudra, who was in his palace, and he was eating peacefully. Naraji said, "You're eating. Enjoy while you can. You will be killed by the evening. Lord Ram has taken a vow that by this evening your head will be chopped off and placed at the feet of Vishwamitra." He said, "Maharaj, Narad Muni, you got me in trouble. I was willing to do prostrated obeisances, but you are the one who stopped me, and you said fold your hands." Naraji said, "Well, I didn't know this would create such a problem." The king said, "How can he be saved now?" Naraji said, Lord Ram has said he will kill you by this evening, and he always speaks the truth. You will be killed. He never lies." The king said, "Please save me." Naraji said, "There is only one way. Only the great devotee Lord Hanuman can save you." The king said, "How will Hanumanji oppose Lord Ram?" Naraji said, "Trust me, there is one way." But the king said, "I am not qualified to approach Lord Hanuman on my own." Naraji said, "If anybody can order Lord Hanuman besides Lord Ram, it is only his mother, Anjani. Let's go and meet her." So the king met Marad Anjani, offered prostrated obeisances, and was crying profusely and said, "Please rescue me." She was merciful and said, "Tell me, what is your problem?" He said, "You're the only one in the three worlds who can rescue me. There is a king who wants to kill me, but you're the only one who can save me." She said, "What? A king wants to kill you?" "My son, the most powerful, the great devotee, Hanuman, I will order him and he will protect you. He will not go against my wishes. I take a vow to protect you. Maharaj smiled to himself and thought, our work is done. Work is done, because now the glory of the Lord's name will be publicized. Then later, Hanumanji came to her and she said, "Oh my son, I have taken a vow to protect his life." They had still not asked who the king is that wants to kill him. She told Hanumanji, "I have given my words." Lord Hanuman said, "No one has been born in the three worlds that can break my mother's vow. I respect your words." And he asked, "Who is the king that wants to kill you?" With folded hands, the king said, "Lord Ram." Hanumanji was stunned. "He is my master." And he said, "Mother, what kind of vow have you taken to protect this man against my lord, my master? How is this possible?" The mother said, "Well, now I have given my word." Hanumanji thought of a solution. He's very intelligent. All the intelligence in creation is controlled by Goddess Saraswati, and she is inspired by the Lord himself. And the one whose mind is consumed with the Lord, no one can be more intelligent than him. And that is why Lord Hanuman is known as the most Jnani, the topmost Jnani, Agraganyam, topmost amongst the intelligent. Hanumanji said, "Okay, let's go in seclusion." He took King Prataparudra to a secluded spot and told him to sit down and said, "There is not much time left till sunset. To save yourself, there is only one solution. Start chanting Lord's name." And he emphasized that the breath that you do not chant with will be your last breath for sure. So start chanting Sitaram, Sitaram without any break. If there is any interruption in your chanting, then at that very moment, the infallible arrow of Lord Ram will kill you. Otherwise, you will be safe. Do not worry. He sat down and started chanting Sitaram, Sitaram, and Lord Ram is walking around him, playing his cymbals and doing kirtan of Sitaram, Sitaram. God fired his infallible arrow. The arrow came and circled the king and Lord Hanuman, circumambulated them and returned. The Lord said, "This has never happened. How can my infallible arrow become fallible? How could it return without hitting its target?" He did not fire another arrow and was thinking, who is it that my unfailing arrow was not able to touch and returned as is? He told Lord Lakshman, "Go where King Prataparudra is and see what is the situation. Why was his head not chopped off?" Lord Lakshman went and saw that Lord Hanuman was shedding his tears and doing some kirtan of Lord Ram's name and circling the king. And King Prataparudra was sitting with his eyes shut and chanting Sitaram, Sitaram. The great lover Lord Lakshman also started to clap his hands and to do kirtan. Lord Ram thought, "My arrow returned without success, but Lakshman did not even return and there is no information." And in the meantime, Vishwamitra is saying, "You have taken a vow to bring me his head till sunset. Do not forget." Lord Ram said, "Gurudev, please be patient. I will go myself and check." And when he said this, Vishwamitra said, "I will come along with you to see what decision you take." All the Brahm Rishis in the assembly went along with them, and Naraji was playing his veena and said, "I too want to see what is going on." And he's the one who has orchestrated the whole thing. He is very amusing. When they went, they saw the king was chanting Sitaram, Sitaram. Lord Hanuman was doing kirtan and circling the king, and Lord Lakshman was clapping his hands and doing kirtan. The Lord said, "Now I understand what is going on. The one who is chanting my name on his tongue cannot be killed even by my infallible arrow. Even my divine Sudarshan Chakra cannot harm him." Lord Ram said, "Gurudev, you had ordered that his head should be at your feet. You had not ordered that I had to chop off his head." And he told King Pratap to bow down at the feet of Vishwamitra. Vishwamitraji was very pleased. Narji said, "This is not Prataparudra's fault, not Brahm Rishi with Vishwamitraji's fault. This was my doing. I wanted to show the world that your name is greater than even your infallible weapons. If anyone can stop your infallible weapons, it is your name. God said, even my divine Sudarshan Chakra cannot cut the head of one who is chanting my name. Sometimes Maya presents the pastimes of the Lord in such a way that you have difficulty believing them. But if you go deeper, you will understand the confidential secrets behind them. God's divine will is behind them. The ones who are illusioned by Maya cannot understand them. The one who chants the Lord's name gains a unique strength. You have just started chanting the name recently, and now if some difficulty is presented by Maya, you lose faith in God. This is a battle, and sometimes you will be hit by arrows from the enemy. And this does not mean a warrior will turn his back and run away. This is how we do bhajan. Doesn't matter how much difficulties we face, we will not stop our bhajan. With this mood, no difficulty will be able to impact you. Sarvipadi vimoksham.